Newsmax all that long. I think there's probably about 14 of us, I think, when I hired in. And this lovely lady here, Megan Trelevin, was the only female on the sales force at that time, okay? And I thought I pretty much had my sea legs, knew how this thing works, kind of get the feel of this thing. And so Paul's doing these conference calls. And so back in those days, there were no district managers. Paul was the national sales manager. He was everything. And so, he would do these conference calls, and he'd say, hey, we're going to do a conference call and whatever. So we all get on this conference call. And Paul's running the thing. And so the topic, I remember those days, the topic for that evening was getting past the gatekeeper in these veterinary clinics. So we're having this discussion, okay, how do you work your way toward the back, get past the gatekeeper, get past over to the decision makers and get something done. So Paul says, hey, he says, hey, he says, let's just have some comments out here. Everybody interact. And so, one after one, this person says some things, and then and somebody else interrupts and goes on, and somebody says something else, and it goes for a little bit, and you can just tell Paul's getting disgusted. And he gets kind of pissed off and fed up with stuff. He just kind of gets disgusted. And everybody that knows Paul, that has worked with Paul, in their mind's eye, they can see him back at home on his phone. And so, here, all of a sudden, he interrupts. He goes, wait a minute! Wait a minute! That's always what he always says. He says, wait a minute. He says, let's say you're trying to get past the gatekeeper. Let's say her name is